DreamHack Open is brought to you by Corsair, Monster Energy, Esport Management, and GG Bet.
After 3 days of competition, we finally made it to the point that everyone out there has been waiting for. There is a Brazilian team in the grand finals here at DreamHack Open Rio 2019. Furia facing off against Avangar after a bizarre series before this that saw them make it into the grand finals. But what a series it was. Furia came in lights out in their series in the semifinals earlier today. I'm your host, Bach. I want to give a quick shout out to the sponsors that make this event possible. Corsair, Monster Energy, Esport Management, and of course, GG Bet. Joining me on the desk as they have been all event long, I've got Potter and I've got Dust. And I've noticed something, a pattern that's developed. After day one, we started to unite our picks more and more until eventually now we've just sort of collided and we all agree. Is that going to happen here in the grand finals?
This will be the determining factor here on this last one.
I feel like we're all going to agree.
I don't know. I could find out.
I kind of feel like that's going to happen because, in my heart, I've had this one of these teams, I won't say which one, pick from the very beginning to win the event. But Dust, you've always been like, you've been the wild card. We've been sort of normal and standard. You're the weird one.
I feel like that couldn't be any
Further
more
from the truth.
Yeah. Thank you for finishing that.
We were thinking with our hearts and our minds. You were just thinking with the stats. This is normal.
So yeah, sometimes you got to go with your heart, Dust.
Guess I'm like Spock, logical.
We'll take a look at the bracket so you can kind of see how things got to where they are currently. As we said, it was Avangar and Valiance who just played, and Avangar ended up taking it in a 3-map series with a bizarre second map blowout that kind of left us wondering whether or not Avangar was even going to get to this point. And then Furia decimated Sharks. The first game was close, but the second game wasn't even a question. That Vertigo map was almost laughable to the side of Furia.
It definitely was, but it was impressive to see from Furia's point of view as well. I mean, they had so many set pieces, and they knew all their nades, and they knew exactly what they were doing with this Vertigo pick.
Yeah, they did, and they've been showing that throughout every single map. They're leading in almost every team statistical category when it comes to round conversion and how they're setting up their players and like that. And we'll talk about that a little bit later when we actually look at the teams, but they have been proving time and time again outside of that opening match against INTZ that they deserve to be here, that they have a really good chance at that trophy on home soil.
We did have a chance to sit down and talk with some of the Brazilian players about the scene in general. Let's take a look.
I feel like Brazil has aggressive mentality, explosive play style. I really like playing that style. I think Furia plays really great on that style. And I don't know, it's maybe in our blood or something, but we play I feel like we play a different CS than other regions for sure.
Oh, this time Yuri's changed his ways. What? Did he get more? What? Can they win this round flawlessly with the level of aggression they've had? Yes, they can.
Feels like a mess, but it's all like planned, you know?
In Brazil, we play like more aggressive. We play with a lot of emotions, I should say. Fallen and all the team together, they helped a lot of Brazil. They opened a lot of doors for the other teams.
Sometimes I guess the world don't remember us or remember that we exist. So I wish more events, more invites, closed qualifiers.
As more like investments and tournaments for the Brazilian scene grow, we are already doing it like DreamHack. So it's pretty good for the scene.
Say what you will about the CSGO scene, DreamHack has the best music by far. I found myself dancing backstage at this event more than any other event I've ever been to. So
You have been dancing a lot.
I just got a spirit inside me that just has to shake its hips. I might not be good at it, but I have to do it.
Do they lie, though?
Sometimes. I have to. It's just I can't help myself. I'm not very good at it. I don't pretend that I'm good, but
now we have to put that filter where you have to like click for adult content. So congratulations for that one.
Yeah, this is not suitable for work, unfortunately. I'm told that Christine's got 3 reasons about this match. What are they?
All right, these are the 3 reasons why I think this is going to be a great final. So reason number 1 is because BR fans are some of the best around. I mean, the dancing energy that you have, I mean, it has to do with this atmosphere, right, Bach? I mean, these fans are so supportive of their teams, and it definitely shows. I can hear them getting loud behind me right now. And reason number 2 is going to be a great final is because of James Opp. I mean, let's be real, this guy hasn't been missing many shots at all, and he's definitely going to have to be the key to pull Avangar over the edge. And reason number 3 is Furia have all the tools to win. Bach and Dust, they definitely do. I mean, they have an in-depth strategy. They have all the firepower, and they've been progressing and getting better and better throughout this tournament. And so I think that's definitely going to bode well for them. And these fans are definitely going to have to push Furia over the edge and help them win this final.
I do think that is certainly a factor that maybe a non-player or others might not understand, is that there is that 6th man factor. Like you talk about it in professional sports, like for instance, the Seattle Seahawks has long talked about how their crowd is like another player on the field. You definitely have that right now. Like the crowd has been loud even when it wasn't a Brazilian team playing. Like they were really cheering for that Avangar game earlier. I can't imagine what it's going to be like with just one Brazilian team in a grand final.
And I can't imagine what it must be like to be Furia right now. Just think of this. In a year's time, they went from coming out of nowhere to beating professional teams in North America on land, on NA soil, like Complexity United. Now, a year later, they've progressed so far. Now they're on home soil fighting for a trophy at a top international land. So it's really cool to see that. Now we're going to get into some map picks. And again, I would expect us to get banned off here by Furia. I'm not sure why else they would stray away from that. And, for the Avangar side of things, again, I'm kind of expecting some of the similar stuff we've seen throughout the tournament, so shouldn't really be anything too strange here. What about you over there, Pada? What are you thinking?
I think so too. I mean, they do, it's the best of 3. They have to ban Dust 2 and they have to ban Nuke, so I'm really wondering if Furia are going to pull the Sharks card and pick that Vertigo.
Yeah, I mean, that's definitely, it's a hard gamble, though. I mean, I feel like if you're Furia, they have a pretty deep map pool across the board. They should feel pretty confident. You don't necessarily have to pick in the Vertigo. Even if Avangar, bans out Nuke, there's still some weaknesses out there. Like, I'm still not confident on their train, for instance. Like, I think that still could be an opening for Furia.
Well, there's the Dust 2 ban, and I would imagine the Nuke ban is just behind it. Yeah, you guys hit that one on the head. These are permabans for these teams. It's not really entirely surprising, but here's where things get interesting is what do you pick?
I think Furia should pick Train. I don't think that Avangar, even though they won that map on Train, I think they did so by the slimmest of margins. And I think, going into that game, they had lost 5 games in a row. It's their first win in 6 matches. So with Furia being 3-1 on land, very good online record. They've beaten some pretty good teams online in North America on a regular basis. I think you could do that. But, Vertigo, maybe a sneaky pick.
I'm so scared for Train, though. James actually looked so good on that. Oh! Here we go!
They've done it. They have gone and done it.
Furia pulling a card out of Sharks' book. I mean, Sharks did the same thing in the semifinal versus Furia, but Furia ended up just hustling them and turning it right back around and winning in such a dominant fashion. This is exciting.
And that's an interesting pick.
Yeah, I mean, they smell blood in the water, I guess, from watching Furia have a really hard time on Inferno in the past, I suppose, and it's obviously something that Avangar had their trouble with as well, so they still go for it. Then Train's actually a decider, so I like this a lot for Furia, to be 100% honest with you. I think Train being a 3rd map is super beneficial from Furia. I'm surprised that Avangar didn't ban it out 2nd rotation. They actually are usually pretty good on Overpass. That's really weird to me that Avangar banned Overpass. It's probably their best map offline, to be honest. So I think they must just be really respecting Furia or having some hard times in practice recently.
It is odd. Avangar also mentioned that Fitch, in his interview, he said that Dust 2 used to be one of their stronger maps, and he felt that they were struggling a little bit on it. Maybe that's a telltale sign. I mean, they have Sanji. He's kind of new.
That's crazy for Furia, though. I don't know how they walked on stage with stones that big to pick Vertigo first pick. Like, that is crazy. Like, you have no idea what Avangar has on that map. Whereas I feel like Train, that would have been like a pretty comfortable first pick for them. So it's gutsy, but it could pay off.
I think, Furia looked good on
they did.
Vertigo, though.
Absolutely.
Dust. They knew exactly what they were doing. They had so many crossfires.
Yeah, I agree.
Well, we did have a chance to sit down with the teams and talk to them about their path to the grand finals. Let's take a look.
Being in the final, it's amazing for us. That's what we expected coming here. So we really wanted to play this final and hopefully win.
We expected we will be in finals. We need to just show all our tactics and game plan.
Oh, P2000 for Sanji, and oh yeah, it's gonna come down to it next in the corner. He's got Buster. The time is ticking quick, and it's so close. Sanji's got it. Wow. Avangar 14. Bomb being stuck in the midst of all this.
I don't know what's gonna happen, but we're gonna do our max. We're not afraid of Avangar.
We are playing not under pressure. We don't have pressure to play versus Brazilian teams.
Man, we are backstage, and we can hear that through the stage, through the players, through all the set equipment, and
You can feel it.
loud. Like, you can feel it hitting your chest. I'm getting goosebumps back here.
Oh, it's so great. But we're opening up with Avangar on stage, and again, they really want this trophy. Obviously, Furia wants it more. They're on home, so they built this moment. But Avangar, they've had their ups and their downs. You know, at the end of last year, they did so at Epicenter, but then struggled at IM Chicago and the PLG Grand Slam. This year, they had a great run at the Major. They narrowly missed out on the Legend stage. Just some close losses to Navi and stopped them. And now they come to this tournament after kind of getting battered a little bit online, and they have had a quite an impressive run. They are number 2 as a team overall in round win percentage on the terrorist side, number 2 in overall opening duel success, and they have players like Sanji, the new guy, number 4 in rating for the event, number 2 in kill assist percentage. You got James on screen now, number 1 in rating, number 1 kill leader, leads in opening kills per round, leads in success in opening duels, and he has the lowest deaths per round as well. So he's taken down everybody in opening kills, and he's not dying at all.
And we mentioned and we talked about James not missing op shots. I was actually counting on that train match in the semifinals, and he literally did not miss any op shots. And so, oh boy, this is going to be an exciting match. My heart is beating for Furia, but my mind is telling me James is just so strong with that op.
I mean, I just feel like this is a big opportunity for Avangar. Again, they've had their struggles online, not being able to make it into the Mountain Dew League for next season, not being able to qualify for DreamHack Masters Dallas. Again, the only real thing that they have going for them is that major run. They need to build off of that. They're kind of number 15, number 16 in the world. Let's take it further. Let's get into the top 10. A trophy here is what they need to do that.
And now we go to the opposite side of the stage that is very clearly going to have all eyes on it here in Rio, as everyone has been cheering for Furia all event long, but now it's gotten even easier because there's no more Brazilians in the way. It's just them. All focus is on Furia.
It definitely is, and you do, I mean, we've been talking about it all weekend, but you do have to consider that that definitely will help them. We see Quesorado on the screen, Abel J on the screen there, eyes closed, full focus. The players on Furia have been doing this all weekend, and
yeah, they know what this moment means. They have come so far in a year's time ever since they got that debut we talked about earlier in North American soil at Zotac, beating Complexity United, making it to a finals appearance. The fact that, you know, from that point forward, we were able to see them dominate in the Americas League, some of these different qualifiers, qualifying for DreamHack Masters Dallas, a big Tier 1 tournament, qualifying through the minor into the most recent major. Yeah, they didn't get deep there, but that's a big step in progression to be able to make it like this. And it's just crazy to see them focus up and be able to get here. And what we're seeing is them, like you said, just kind of focusing up. All these players have been playing so very well. You know, we have somebody like Yuri, who's number 2 in rating and number 2 in damage per round and kills per round. He's doing so great going against James, the number 1 player over on Avangar. Those two kind of opening forces are going to be so big later on.
And we just saw Vinny on the screen, and I need to take this time to point him out because he's low-key been a huge impact factor for Furia. I mean, he's had clutch rounds, impact kills, multi-kills. He's quietly been like just such a huge force this weekend.
Yeah, and that is that head-to-head we're talking about. It's the 2 opening forces. Both of these guys are stats leaders when it comes to opening kills and success in opening duels. James doing it with the AWP, Yuri doing it with rifles. And it's also worth pointing out, as we're talking about Furia a little bit more, they lead in round win percentage. They lead in 5-on-4 and 4v5 conversion. They lead in deaths traded. So they are always being efficient how they're moving into bomb sites. They have great aggression coming out of guys like Yuri and Art in particular. Both of those guys, you know, kind of in the top 10 for overall rating. And then you have a passive force like Quesorado, who's kind of your bread and butter, your rock. And here's another thing that's crazy to think about. We always talk about Art. We always talk about Quesorado. We always talk about Yuri. Dude, Vinny's number 5 in rating for this tournament, and he's number 1 in clutches. Dude, he is delivering so much on a very big stage for this team. Love to see it.
Definitely is, and I have to wonder about James versus Art in that op matchup, and we heard Art talk about yesterday how his team needed him to be more aggressive, be that guy who's opening up the rounds and getting those opening picks and winning those duels, and we absolutely saw that yesterday. But on the other side of things, James, I mean, I wonder, this is going to be a huge op battle.
So now it comes down to that time, Dust. It's time to make predictions. We know the maps, and we know what to expect from these teams on the maps. Has that changed your opinion or solidified it? Where are we at?
I think Vertigo scares me a lot because you're right. Fury did look really good on Vertigo. They were really good with their utility. They knew exactly how to stop rushes on the B side by pre-incendiating the stairs. They were really good at using mid on Terra's side, which is actually very hard to do on this map. I know there's not a lot of film out there, but I could tell you that it is very hard to use mid as a Terrace. They seem to have all their bases covered. And I think map 3 is what helps me out a lot. I think that map 3 on Train is definitely going to be helpful. I think Avangar made a mistake banning Overpass, a very big strength to there. So, you know what? This is one of the few times I get to pander to the crowd. And I also get to pick who I really do think is going to win this. The only thing that Furia is missing is a trophy in their cabinet on a LAN, and it's happening here, Rio. So go ahead and make some noise as you're going to see that Furia graphic. Come on up. They are going to win this thing. Absolutely.
I'm definitely going to have to go with Furia here as well. I mean, Furia have looked so strong. All those players, you can see how much it means to them, what this weekend is going to do for them. So I'm rooting for Furia all the way.
It's not even a question for me. It's Furia. It's been Furia all event long. It was Furia when we got here. It was Furia when they lost that opening game. It didn't matter. It's Furia, 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 Furia. It's always going to be Furia for me.
Dude, they own this map pool we're about to see. These 3 maps, I think they're better, at least 2 of them, most likely. I mean, again, Vertigo's a mystery. And again, they're leading in all these different categories as a team. They have 4 players in the top 10 of overall rating. They've been playing so sharp. If you kind of take that INTZ best of 1 out on opening day and you erase that from your memory, if you think about everything else they've done this tournament, they have looked way sharper than Avangar. Avangar labored their way through that Valiant series. It did not look good at all. They look very timid and hesitant. You can't do that against this Furia team. They are very in your face with the way they play Counter-Strike. And I think they're going to get punished as Avangar shows up like they did earlier today.
They definitely will, but you know, Furia have to watch out for Kickert. They have to watch out for
Jame. They have to watch out for Jame. Let's be real. Jame is the X factor that could ruin everything. Like, he's been so good. He's definitely the leading MVP candidate for this tournament.
And look at the Twitch chat there. 72% believe that Furia is going to take this one. Now, I would say that's a little bit stronger than I expected, but you know the Brazilian fans always show up for their team. I don't really think there's anything more to say. I'm going to close my eyes and hope for the best. That first map is a little bit scary, but we do have our casters standing by as we get prepped to jump into this first map in this best of 3. Tom, Risk, take it away.
Oh, this is going to be an exciting one, Tom. I'm looking forward to this. My first cast on Vertigo. My first final in Brazil. I'm just saying, I apologize in advance because, of course, I'm not an English player like you are. This is my second language. All my callouts are in Danish, so I'm trying to translate those on the fly. It's going to be interesting. But these guys on the screen are definitely ready for it. They don't care about the callouts, they care about the frags. And that's exactly what Furia is coming in to deliver. I have to say, Furia, apart from that Ints game where they lost the beginning, the first game of the tournament, they have gone 2-0, 2-0, 2-0 so far in this tournament. So my money is on another 2-0, Tom. I think it's going to be 2-0 Furia.
Oh, that is bold. That is bold. I think Avangar...
the only thing I think Avangar has an advantage is Jamie. The AWP duel, I think they got that. But everything else says Furia for me.
Yeah, I think going into Inferno is definitely going to be interesting. Obviously, the game earlier today was actually pretty damn close between them and Valiant. Obviously, 2 teams we expected to go very far in this tournament, but the Brazilians really have been like almost flawless. It was just that first game. Either way, we are into our grand final. It is going to be Avangar facing off against Furia, and it's Vertigo.
Interesting map, interesting teams. This is going to be a hell of a game. Jame has to be the catalyst for Avangar.
You can already see actually quite a default for the first sort of rounds. I've always expected very aggressive early plays to come out on this map because there's such fast sort of rotations, fast movement towards either of the side for the Ts, but they're taking their time. Vinny obviously boosted up. This is pretty much the gamble that we've seen quite a bit so far, is that B side, that middle position has been really stacked, and then A side's just sort of like, okay, we're going to be trying to retake that one and just leave it alone.
Just feeling the opposition out, seeing they're doing anything special. Watch all the angles, slowly but surely move in, and I feel like that's the right way to go when you're playing a new map where you have no demos to watch on, well, there's just one demo to watch of Furia, of course, but no demos on the other side. So just feel them out, play defensive, play slowly. But here we go, that's the push.
Vinny going to be trying to tap some players through the smoke. His crosshair's so close to finding a kill. Quesarado's rotated in to support him, and Yuri's actually going to be the one to find that opening pick. The T's already at a disadvantage, and they do have players closing in from all angles. Just remember how quick that rotation could be. Vinny's going to pick up a double in the meantime, and now James, the only one left. He's the man we speak about in clutches, but it's not happening. Yuri with a fantastic pistol round, and it is going to be Furia taking that initial.
Yeah, Vinny, great round from him. And to be honest, when this tournament started, I would say Quesarado, without a doubt, the biggest star on this team. He's going to be the top fragger every single game. But during this tournament, Vinny has really gone on me, Yuri as well. Both two players that I didn't know much about, apart from maybe a few stats and watching a few VODs. but they have really shown up this tournament. Quesarado, if he steps up as well, he didn't really do that in the semifinal, in my opinion. He can play way better. If he steps up and joins these other two players, that's a very dangerous trio.
Oh, we have that classic CIS-style bias. Going to be picking up that AK-47. Quite a bit of utility behind him as well, so they're going to try and do some real damage in this round. Get ready for that punch into the next pitch. Straight through the smoke. They're just going to manage to pick off Quesarado. A little bit of utility retrieved, and they will be able to smoke that off a little bit longer, but these are the sort of rounds that you are scared if you're up against Avangar, because they can win these.
A lot of these positions on Vertigo, if you close it down with the smoke, there's so little space behind the smoke, so there's maybe 2 or 3 angles that you can actually try to pre-fire through the smoke because you know exactly where the opposition could be. There's not much to choose from. And that kind of changes the game a little bit, because let's say you play at DOS 2 or something like long, you have no idea where people could be. They could be anywhere out on long, but because the corridors are so close by, 2 or 3 spam spots with the deagle, and you can actually get kills consistently through smokes on this map.
CT side, split defense. This could really work in the favor of Avangar. Going to be trying to spot anybody looking down on them as they do sort of sneak their way back around towards that B site. Obviously still the chance to just run up those stairs, catch those players off guard, and considering you've still got Kicker, that AK hasn't been seen. The only kill that's come in so far is off Fitch. They do not know there is an AK on one of these players. Now, if you do watch a little bit of Avangar, you can probably make an educated guess from what happened so far, but it's still easier said than done. Gonna make their moves. Smokes go in. Able J and Arch just waiting behind those smokes, trying to use them to their advantage, and there isn't that much time left for the T's to get their move on. Sanji will move first, the AK then comes into play, but Abel's still hiding, and now the rotation has come in. However, his teammates are gone. He has to do it all, he's trying to buy time. Drops the bomb as well, and I think he's won the round alone! Able J goes ham, and it's saying no to that second round force buy of Avangar.
So composed there, Able J. I thought Fitch's flank was going to be a real round decider there, but Able J is just able to keep his composure, making sure that he's not taking the duel before he needs to. Not taking that frag, taking it now, he has the bomb, swings left, and the third frag also comes in because Fitch feels like he has to go for the throat. 2-0 Furia. This is, though, an interesting round. We have a couple of deagles coming out on the T side, an AWP on Jame. That's exactly what they want to do. They want to get him rolling. Yes, there's not a lot of like big angles you can open with the AWP, but Jame is like second nature with that AWP.
Yeah, no, that will be the interesting thing. Like, can he find any spicy positions? Because there's a lot of boosts on this map. There's a lot of things that can give you a massive advantage if you are set up for this. Because that's the thing. We don't know what Avangar have on this map. Now, it wasn't a permaban, so you'd kind of assume, okay, maybe they have something. They've definitely got the Deagles. Buster utterly dirty. Able J is not going to have any secrecy this round hiding in the corners as he's gone.
Switch of weapons as the MP9 goes out. The AWP will be picked up from his dead teammate. Still 3 Molotovs remaining, and we know that there are many a standard position, especially on that B bomb side where you can just molo out the corners. So the Molotovs, keeping them into the last 30 seconds from the T side is going to be very important, but I think this one is going to go to the opposite side of the map. Jamie just trying to find an opening, but not seeing anyone. Calling for his teammates could be clear. At least the first lot.
They still have the boosted player. This seems to be pretty much the standard at the moment from Vinny. Sanji spots him out and leaves it all onto Quesarado. The rest of the team not really that close to be able to help him out, so he's going to be a little bit more patient in the fights he's going to be taking. Can't really do anything to deny any sort of bomb plant, but there is some utility to be expended by the remaining CT players who are now all on towards the side. But look at where the T's are. 4 of them just waiting behind, waiting towards that ramp for the push to come in, and this is now looking bleak. Quesarado at least we'll be able to get one, but his teammate only with an MP9 really not going to be too useful. There's still even like a flank being coming in, and James is just mowing them down at the moment with that AWP. Yuri, there's absolutely nothing he can do in this scenario. And the best case is he maybe steals a gun.
He definitely wants that. Look at the money on both sides. It's been gone all the way down. We'll get a kill, but not a gun.
There's a FAMAS up there, I think.
Yeah, there might be a AWP somewhere else on the map, but he's gone away with MP9, going in for the pickup.
T-side getting onto the board fairly early. And we did see a very one-sided performance when this came in for Furia previously in the tournament. But I do think that this Avangar side is just a different beast to everyone they've played so far. Like, this team in form is a world beater. Like, they can upset pretty much any team. James, the early pick will take a bit of a brunt from utility, but not anything to really write home about. And bear in mind that the CT side are sort of struggling with this buy. They've got some CZs, they've got an SMG, and while the FAMAS isn't really anything to sort of scream about, it's not the best weapon in the game.
No, definitely not. But there's a lot of like different angles you can hold with the CZ75 that can actually get something done. And we know these Brazilian players, like they can get fired up, get a single kill, and then just like smell blood and go absolutely ham. So let's wait, see if Buster can get it done. Close range with the AK-47. Smoke drops down, 3 CT players close by, and he does start back. Vinny now on the blue boxes.
Close is where that one's going to be most valuable. They've got James now probing the other side of the map. He really is the man, just looking for all the entries, and he's taking even more damage from utility. Close to being dunked out. Vinny he's trying to work out the angles. He's calculating in his head. The math's all going off like, where can I dunk this nade where I'm going to get myself a kill? Actually decides to hold on to it just that little bit longer. And again, the 45-second marker is up on the clock for Avangar. They do need to get their move.
That's a great Molotov.
Actually going to lose the battle. Quesarado able to pick off one. And can they find this kill through the smoke? Sandy just plants in the middle of 3 different players. Going to be able to get away with it, and again we can just see the T's falling back to the ramp, holding in this position, and that's the fact. The afterplan on this site is so powerful. Like we've seen many teams just rushing into B. It is the easier of the 2 sites to just get into initially. But the fact is, this afterplant is so powerful that the CTs pretty much have to go facing. However, Vinny is going to be able to pick off one. In fact, Quesarado's actually got another. Buster's going to have a whole lot to do. They're already defusing the bomb. He has to find this kill, and he does. And now do they even have time? That's the biggest problem. James already running. The diffuser will come in. They had a kit left over.
Such a low buy, and they still make it work. Furia, even in the situation where, yes, they don't have a lot of money and they actually burn, they lose around 100 HP in Molotovs to the beginning of this push from the T side. They still make the retake wait, very composed, just waiting for their chance. And when they get that chance, when they get that opening, they go straight for it. The double stack behind the sandbags did not really work out for the T side. And that was the thing they were banking on in the end of that round. Didn't pay off. Buster with the spray out. Close range with the MP9.
Yeah. Bringing it back. It was in fashion for quite a while. I think a lot of players still use it, but this team really seems to like putting it into play. And well, hey, that's not a bad upgrade. He's got himself an AK-47.
I feel like, at least from my experience, which of course is far away from this level, the SMGs and also the shotguns to some extent and the CZ75 close range are really, really powerful on Vertigo. So I'm not really surprised to see the MP9 being used that much. So, good gun for this one. Still Orcs, of course, in play, and AK is picked up by the CT side as many as they can get, as we are used to in Counter-Strike.
Well, Avangar once again, they seem to be fairly patient. Like, we haven't seen any of those fast-paced pushes that were expected on this map. They really are just letting James work either side. Like, he's been around this sort of angle quite often, and you can see the CT side are fairly happy to just wait behind their smokes. We're going to see a little bit of a boost thrown in there to try and get him out of spot. Instead, the bomb's actually going back over towards B. I think they're going to try and split this one up, but they're looking to try and find Art. Very wary of the players sort of peeking in from the elevator spot. They don't want to be caught out from above. Quesarado is actually fairly around that area, but getting a little bit further forward is actually going to be quite difficult. Art, is he going to spot anyone out here? They have got quite a lot of ground, and there we go. Sandy goes down. They're still kicking around this area, and actually the rest of the teams are now rotated in. James does get that opener eventually, but this is where Quesarado compounds, but James just takes his head off right through the gap. He's not getting anything done from there.
James looking to be the linchpin here. AWP dancing around, looking for another shot, waiting for the smoke to dissipate. He has plenty of time, and that's another one, but that's a miss from James. Has to step it up now, and only one teammate remaining.
Yeah, and he's taking a lot of damage. They're both stuck into the same corner. Vinny just jumps up. It's left onto Fitch to try and clutch this out, and Vinny does both. They go down. Furia, they've got another round, and, well, you almost fear that that one missed shot from James could have been all the difference. It was said on the desk he wasn't missing any shots on train. Well, Vertigo may not be his home ground.
Definitely not. Not looking as his usual self. Of course, still having a great round. Like, an AWP finding 2 kills is exactly what you want. That headshot is insane, but once again, like, we compare him to what he usually delivers, and when his level is so high usually, we expect that every single time, which is kind of a curse and a blessing in the same kind of sense.
For sure.
But that's the James we're used to seeing.
Yeah, I actually wonder if he shot between the players' legs there. That's the only way I can see him missing. Like, unless he was moving, but I'm pretty sure he wasn't moving enough.
Molotov for sandbags. clearing out angles one by one. Still blue box as the common angle to hold to begin with, while Buster is slowly but surely just checking out the stairs area on opposite bomb site. Bomb is still dropped all the way back, so not a choice been made yet, but Able J locking down Buster. 5v4.
Yeah, this is interesting. So far, Furia have just been super passive. Like, you see their A site hold. You can actually witness all of the utility being expended by Avangar early on. Like you said, the sandbags, the Molotov goes there. There's not been anybody there the whole game. No. Like, they have not pushed that far forward. Even when they had SMGs, they were still going.
Literally, the only players who've used the sandbags was for that post plant where they played two-man sandbags in post plant. That is the only time it's been used.
This time, they've now got the AWP onto ARC. That's one of the dynamics I'm actually looking forward to on this map, is how the AWP is going to be utilized, because there's so many positions it can be used. It's just whether or not it actually benefits you to the extent.
And there's also a lot of like mid-range, medium-range, like kind of positions.
AUG positions.
Yeah, in other maps where you can kind of like use it as a shotgun. In other maps you'll have long-range duels and you'll be able to use the objects to full extent. But it's a different style of AWPing.
Yeah, for sure.
Able J, good round so far, but Vinny's also chiming in. Stanji, the new man, the new kid on the block.
Yeah, it seems impossible. Vinny should at least go his way, which it will. And that's actually going to be a bomb plant for him, so that's something. At least there's shots coming through the box. They know exactly where he is. But he'll take a bomb plant all day long in a 1 versus 5. That's really not that bad for Sanji, but the fact is, I think this is something we're going to see quite a lot, is that a lot of players on this map at the moment look very out of place. Yeah. They do not feel comfortable on this map yet. And Furia, they seem like they are. They seem to have their set plays, and then they have the rotations pretty well down already. Now, they said it was sort of a trap card. I always take everything someone says after they win with a pinch of salt. Yeah. Like, oh, we were prepared for that. Like, were you, or did it just go really well? And you're like, let's just say we were prepared. It makes us look incredibly intelligent. Like, I know I would do that if I was in that situation, but if they have been properly preparing this map, I'm not sure Avangar will be up to the standard of facing off against them here.
They look okay, Avangar. Like, it's not like this is their first time stepping into the fray on this map, definitely. But Furia just looks so much more well prepared.
Yeah, and I think even just the way that they're trying to sort things out, it's basically, James, can you try and get a pick, please? Yeah. The rest of us will sort of just hold angles, but that's not the way Furia are playing. They're not going aggressive enough that holding angles is enough.
And there are still like a bunch of like wall of smoke strategies, Molotov like positions you can use, which I've only seen, I think, 2 or 3 times so far in these 6 rounds. Which is something where, at least when you see other teams that have practiced this map a lot play this map, they utilize the wall of smokes, the Molotov, like burnouts where you have 3 Molotov landing around the same bomb site. They utilize that a lot more with great success. So I'm kind of wondering why that hasn't been used yet. If it's just they don't want to play that style, or if it's just because they are not exactly sure how to do it. Because at this point, I would be absolutely sure that Avangar would know how to do that smoke setup and that Molotov setup.
I guarantee the one time that they don't check up towards the sort of elevator gap is where they get killed from it. They've checked it every round so far. Okay, Serrado, a chance to pad his stats a little bit. He's not really come into the frame too much just yet, but a couple of easy kills, obviously mostly pistols in this round for the side of Avangar. I love the fact that they cheer every kill. And he spotted him. Vinny now knows, has the information from his teammate as well.
They're playing so defensive, Furia. They're not giving an inch to Avangar when they get towards the bomb site, but they allow them to get in. And then when they get in, they punish them completely. There's no chance.
Yeah, I think this was something mentioned by the desk and also mentioned by Launders and Connor, the fact that a lot of the rounds that Furia play are retakes, but because they are so comfortable, which considering how new the map is, that's impressive. Yeah. Like, the fact that you're willing to give up portions of the map and just say, no, we know we'll win the retakes here, we're set up for the retakes, is really impressive.
And that's also, like, something that brings me back to, like, the 2017, 2016 SK Gaming. Like, they were renowned for their retakes. And that was some, like, of course, I've been watching CS for many years, but these latter couple of years where SK Gaming, who are now, of course, in MIBR, when they had that retake streak in that summer where every single time they could give up any bomb site on any map, and you would still be confident in their retake. That kind of like spurred a little, I don't know, it ignited something in me that told me this is something that Brazilians could do and could be incredibly good at. And we're seeing the same thing here with Furia.
Fitch again. See, this is the interesting point, that they managed to gain a lot of ground over onto that B site. Like, they're almost in touching distance. Yeah. They're not close enough. And Able J, again, he's been a menace around this spot. Finally, a Molotov's going to go down, but he'll just smoke himself out. And again, now rotations have come in. He is just messing with Avangar at the moment, just holding this back angle, and there's absolutely nothing they can do about it.
They're watching so many angles at the same time. They have to watch the window, they have to watch the back post, they have to watch the rotation coming in where Yuri currently is. And you can't do all that if you just peek and like slowly like shoulder peeking into every single corner. You have to make a decision, go with a flash, go with anything. They're just trying to find a peek and go on that, and that's not gonna happen because Furia knows more, knows where to play the positions, know how to rotate. They're not gonna get an opening pick and move off that.
Oh, the push is gonna be coming in. It's all left onto Jamie. Always hits the shot through the window.
Yep. Maybe next time he should go to the wall.
Yeah, and well, everybody knows the rest.
Ooh.
Ballsy jump. I bet he was sweating during that one.
Definitely sweating.
Will get himself away. The fact is, I wouldn't be surprised if the CT side push him at this point. They do have money to spare. He's got an AWP, which is a weapon that you don't want him to have. Do they push him after the time goes? No, they don't. I think they've sort of left it here. And I don't mind that. I don't mind the fact that they're just building up their own bank. They're feeling fairly confident. He's had an AWP in maybe 4 rounds now, and it's been impactful, like getting them kills, but it doesn't seem to really be like high impact.
It doesn't translate into winning the round. It doesn't translate into getting the map control. It's usually almost after some of his teammates goes down and he goes for the revenge track. He knows the position, so it doesn't really gain them anything other than maybe like eliminating a player and I don't know, eliminating that possibility. But they don't really gain a lot round-wise from it.
I still love that every time you see the sort of X-ray of Avangar, you can see them looking up to that elevator. No one has peeked it once.
No.
Well, not that we've seen at least from our POV, but here we go. Same angle again. James looking for this opening pick. Vinny has been winning this duel most of the time, and Art's going to be waiting, but this time he'll go down. But quickly, Vinny is there to trade. Now, they know there's not going to be many defense left on this site, so it will be the trade back once again. Quesarado's there, but they have smoked him off, but there's a little bit of a gap in it. He's going to be able to find one because of it, and he knows where Fitch is. He can just round the corner and find the kill. It's left all onto Buster. He's got to go running. Now, the CTs aren't on the bomb just yet. They're waiting for the support. I like this. Quesarado could have tried to risk it all on his own, but he's just going to be spotting, trying to set things up for his teammate, trying to let them know where this remaining player is. But come on, they're going to be guessing. They're going to push all at once, and Quesarado, another kill for him, a triple in the round, and Furia are running riot.
Such a great rotation timing as well. That's something that you can really also abuse on the CT side of this map, is the quick rotation from mid into that bomb side. Quesarado is there the second that something happens, and he's ready for that opening kill towards Sanji, rotates in for the bomb planner, and takes the third frag as well later on, as we see here. His rotation timing is on point here.
Oh, once again, the buys continue. Of course they do. It has now been, what, 6 rounds in a row? And only the rounds, well, so the third round is when they get a buy, or get a win, I should say, which is almost against the weaker buy of Furia. They had MP9s in that round. Oh, that's a bit risky. I don't know how he gets away with that. Really
That
should have been punished.
Yeah,
James
agreed on that.
He's waiting on the outside.
Oh, no.
They're gonna run through the smoke. Furia are getting confident. Buster and Kickit, what do you even do here? 2 versus 5 on a map that you've struggled to break into a site the majority of times.
This looks a lot like the game against Sharks, where Furia won 60-4. So far, I haven't really seen much from Avangar, apart from like individual actions or just a good frag here and there. Team-wise, they look so far off Furia right now. They look so far away. Like, they set up for a sprint while Furia set up for a marathon, and they just went out like 3 rounds in. Oh, okay, we don't have anything more. We're done now. It looks like they're running out of ideas, and let's be real, they're only like below 10 rounds into the game. I hope this changes when they switch sides, because this is not up to the standard that we expect from Avangar. Like, not saying that they're playing bad, but they usually have such a high level. And also strategically, yes, they're a more aggressive team. They're not a really like well-drilled Astralis-esque team, but they always have, I don't know, like a cleverness in their strategy. I'm not seeing that right now.
Yeah, and it seems like everybody on the team is really struggling. Like, we've had a few glimmers of hope from Jane, but other than that, there's been no kicker who was very good in the series before. Sanji has had a fantastic tournament through and through. He is not on the board either. It's literally one man, even close to double digits, and we're now 10 rounds in.
Yeah.
Like that, I'm not asking for much risk when I ask for a 1 KD. Like, it's worrying. And that's the thing, like, obviously this is the map where you almost think this is the sort of secret pick, the cheese pick coming out from Furia, that Avangar, well, maybe they weren't necessarily expecting, but either way, they didn't want to play Nuke, which is another map that Furia, what, 9-0 on at the moment? It was
Pick a
bad
person.
either way, yeah, exactly.
Fury and Able J has been very good on this B-bomb side, holding this crossfire angle. Can almost call it Buster. Edging in, he will be picked off. There's no refract there. Like, the second that you spot a player there, either it has to be an entry on a pop flash or anything else, but they pressure the other side of the map. Is all a fake. 3 players pushing in now for the T side.
Oh, close to finding something through. Of course, we've seen many a bomb plant for Avangar on this A site. We have seen 1 round win, and that again was the 3rd round.
This was big though. This was big.
In the back. This could make all the difference. You can hear the crowd trying to give it away. They definitely don't know just yet in case Serado's been spotted. The fact is, he is going to have to do a lot because they're already going to be pincering him from behind. Kickert will be able to get one now. Jen comes in with that flank. What can he do? He misses the shots, but is still able to get one. That may be enough as now Sanji peeks in at the same time. But Serado, he's found a double back. Kickert needs to go for something. The bomb's being defused. He's not going to be able to do it. And Jane, I don't think he's going to get there in time. Serado! 4 kills to save them there. It seemed perfect for the guys at Avangar, but they still couldn't do it.
Wow. Kicker there in the smoke had the idea that he needed to go make a play, and
he was right.
The CT had that figured out all along. You defuse the bomb, I'll hold the smoke. If he comes from behind, we can still swing around. And Furia now up 10-1. James picked out. Orb doesn't matter. The Orc wins that duel. Time and time again, you can watch that elevator shaft all you want. That doesn't matter. That doesn't change anything. Everything else is missing.
I think there's only one thing going down at the moment, Risk, and that is Avangar, because it is going very badly wrong.
You could say they're about to be shafted.
Yeah. Let's move away from the elevator jokes before this gets out of control.
Serado, though, he is out of control at this point. 16-5, ADR at a very pretty 1-1-1.
I just want to point out the sheer confidence his teammate had in him to continue defusing that bomb as a man's face comes out of a smoke.
He has
Kickert, though, he will take down the man we've just praised. The first real over-aggression, I would say, coming out from Furia as Serado tries to get in on the flank.
Smoke lineup. And now Art close range with the AWP. This is where I think Connor said it as well. You have to use it as a shotgun now.
Yeah, there's obviously a lot of space for him to take this pick. 45 seconds left, and a lot of the grenades are going to begin to fade. There's still more to be thrown. A couple of Molotovs, another smoke that may just enable them to get the bomb down.
Are they doubting themselves now? Are they rotating away?
Yeah, it looks like it.
Okay.
Just the patience, actually. The sort of fake setup. Vinny's still going to be waiting, though, and he's been very good at holding this back. He's got the incendiary as well, so no plant can come in for now, and Art was still there on the cross, but the grenades this time are actually very good from Avangar. They forced them all off the angles. These are the sort of grenades we wanted to see. However, how many times have we seen this plant go down, and how many times has it failed? Art is going to pick one off straight away. That planter just can't get away. They needed another smoke there before it faded out. Now the CT side look to push back in. Buster already going to be up close. They know that they need to take these players down, and Vinny's already going to pick off another. He is just the defense of this site. Buster trying to hold on, but there's nothing he can do. And Kickert's all alone. The spray through's not enough. He will burn. And again, the bomb goes down. But every time, Furia retake.
This is the first time we've seen Avangar really get into a good situation with their smokes, with their Molotov. And as you say, the retake is just way too strong. I'm getting flashbacks to that SK era.
They've had 8 bomb plants.
Of always getting that retake, Tom.
8 bomb plants. That is ridiculous.
And what you can say, I asked for Serado to step up after that semi-final where he didn't. He is 16-6. He might have actually added more to that. Just an assist. But still, like, he's having such a banger of a game right now.
Yeah, now it seems like a lot of the plays that are being made by Avangar are quite last-ditch efforts. Like we saw James in the previous round just run out into mid and try to get an AWP pick. And well, there's only been 1 AWP on this server so far. Art, again, will find the opener. Able J, that's a risky peek. And James will catch him for it. Turns it back into a 4 versus 4, and still they pressure onto this A site as well. As mentioned, Vinny has not really had much trouble defending this site. Been happy to give up those bomb plants and help with the retake every single time. But
rotate far away, but Kickert has read this. He's now trying to come in, but Yuri He's a page ahead in the book. Yes, the kill does come in, but instant refrag. 3v3, still of course in the terrorist favor. They only have one smoke and one Molotov to do anything with. No smoke for the defuse for the CT side, but they have a Molotov to shift players away. So it all comes down to the duels here. Everyone's just frozen.
Yeah, I think they're really relying the CT side on Yuri. He's been fantastic, 15 and 4. Yeah. And they have been, as I said, happy to take the retake. That's a fantastic shot coming out from Sanji. That will give them the bomb plant, and this time there's nobody nearby. More interestingly, though, just look at the position of Buster. He's been waiting for this flank. Now, they could actually cross each other. Quesorado was just in from behind. That's a little bit of bad luck, and now, well, he's going to be left into this clutch. The 1 versus 2. Rounds the corner, obviously very quick rotations will allow him to get him back towards the site, but he's going to know where these remaining players are. He has a single flashbang to try and get something done. You can hear the crowd start to rally behind him as he's going to throw out his remaining utility and look to try and take that peak. Jane left completely blind. Wait. There's no way. He's just going to be trying to stick them on. This is so ballsy. It's not going to happen, but he wasn't far away.
Yeah. A different flash timing there and a jump straight onto the bomb. That could have happened. It could have went down to the last millisecond, but it's not to be, and Avangar will get their second round on the board deserved. A couple of mistakes made, this one really easy to highlight, and then Jamie hitting a very nice shot onto Art. But the first time that Furia is really like showing any kind of weakness or maybe too much overconfidence. And then Avangar straight on that because they know they're not going to get many chances. If they get a chance, they got to capitalize.
This is actually exactly what happened in the game previously versus Shark.
Oh, Vinny, the first time he uses the sandbags position, mollowed out.
Oh, he's taking a lot of damage as well. But yeah, they won 9 CT rounds before they lost a single one, and then the half finished 11-4. So it's looking like the same sort of scenario where they're now starting to be picked apart. The T's will get themselves 2 openers in this round. They're going to need some sort of hero, and you can see Quesorado looking to try and get back into the play. Yuri going to be there on the cross once again, but the bomb's actually on the other side of the map. A little bit risky there. Fitch holding the angle. If he goes down, the bomb's into Quesorado's hand. Luckily for his team, that's not going to be the case, and now 5 versus 2. I think this third round may be coming risk.
No flash for this corner? The flash was a bit too late. That's kind of weird. You're Able J. Well, they're going to hold it down. Smokes are now landing. The rotation coming in from the T side.
Yeah, this has quickly turned into a doable round. 5 versus 2 with now only 3 players remaining on the T's. They're all going to go rotating into the B site. Yuri should have heard all the footsteps, and the information has definitely been relayed over to Able J, who makes his way towards the site. The Molotov going to be perfectly placed, but a little bit late. So Fitch will be able to escape. This kill is all or nothing, and that was it. That now should be impossible. Able J pushing back in towards the site, but there's so many angles to check on this side. This is the horrible thing about Vertigo, is there are a million angles to check and not that much time to check them. He is going to be able to round the corner, spots out 1 seconds there as well! And actually the last man's quite far away. Quick has got to run. He's got to run all the way to the site. He could just defuse this bomb. Can Quicker actually stop him? He's got to go straight through the smoke and he misses! Able J! What is that clutch? Kicker, why was he so far away?
For 2v5, Tom. From a 2v5. And they still managed to turn it around. Kicker with a huge fail, being so far away from the bomb side. He did not count on his 2 teammates dying. If the first one dies, instant refrag. But that secondary orc kill on the back corner. What a play. And nice little timeout taken by Furia. That has to be a round that really gets you excited, really riled up, but they have to keep the focus. Yeah. And that's something we saw way back at Blast Copenhagen after, I think, Dupree did a crazy back-to-back round. Coach Sonic took a pause straight up.
Yeah,
easy now, boys. Focus. We can't lose it when we're this close. That second one onto Buster was filthy.
Thing. You can't even take anything away from Buster there for taking that peek. That's the right play to make. I don't know why Kicker was so far away, though. Yeah. Once you know the last player's there. You have to. And he was not running by the time his second teammate went down. So too little, too late. That one's going to really sting at the end of the day for Avangar.
Mistakes were made.
Well, what looked like an 11-4 half, almost guaranteed by the way things were going. It's now looking more plausible that a 13-2. That's even more dominant than when they played. Well, no matter what, this half is more dominant than when they played against Sharks. And Avangar are the favorites in the tournament.
Oh, what a shot from Art.
Crisp as it gets.
See if he can get another one. Yuri picks out Buster. T-player kicker that's just gone below his crosshair, but will he sweep left? And Art once again holds down the fort. 3 frags for him. And Fitch, last man standing. Will it be a 4K? Yes, it will. Art cleans house. And Vertigo will go down the drain. We're going to be back with the next half in a bit. See you then.
Against the world, gonna leave this life behind us and just go. 'Cause we're running away. Together we'll go and find a better place. Be strong, we'll go 1,000 miles away. Where the skies are blue and nothing is the same. Running, we'll be running. 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 I can't wait to be there, me and you alone, in a paradise that we can call our own. We'll be running away. Together we'll go and find a better place. Be strong, we'll go 1,000 miles away. Nothing is the same.
13-2 was the first half score as Furia demolished Avangar. But now it's time to switch the sides and see if the Avangar team can switch it back and bring it back in this first map of the grand final. We've got pistols galore, and Fitch has already gone down to 7 HP.
Yeah, definitely not the start that they were looking for here, but either way, it's USPs, it's a pistol round. You can get some randomness, you can get yourself that start that you need, but obviously all the momentum at this point is with Furia. Are already going to be boosting up. They've spotted out Kicker, but there's nothing they could do. Pick up the P250 and get out of there. Yuri also going to be taking a battle. The CT side actually fairly aggressive at the moment in their stance. So it's going to be that battle for mid. The T side making their way forward, looking to wrap around. There goes Jane, but the trades are good. In fact, the T side now take a bit of an advantage. It's going to be the battle of Vinny and Buster that could decide the round. And it is going to be Vinny to win it, but Fitch quickly bounces back. And now Vinny low on HP, but look at Yuri in from behind, is left all onto Fitch. He's only got 7 HP and he's pincered between both players. He knows he has to find one of them and he needs to find it fast, but he's not going to be able to do it. Furia are just utterly dominant at this point in time. And while 14-2 risk, comeback is real, no?
It's going to be very hard. Imagine if Buster wins that duel on the corner of the scaffolding there. That could have changed the whole thing, but that flank coming in just cemented the round. 14-2. We've seen some one-sided games so far in this tournament, 16-0 to be precise, but this one has been very one-sided as well.
Not in a grand final. That's the one thing.
Grand final always changes, you know, like it's usually always very close, but oh, what a nade onto Able J. 12 HP to spare, only Desert Eagles and a single scout on Jamie, or Jame if you will. But still, never count Avangar out. Even though they're on a map that it looks like they don't have that much control over, the game sense is still up to a very high standard.
Yeah, this is everything that Avangar have. Like, this is literally everything they've got invested is going to be going into this round. If they lose this one, they'll have pretty much the same in the next. Yeah. So it is really all or nothing. Vinny, well, there's been so many spots held by his own teammate, Able J. I'm sure they'll have them all written down, but the fact is, they're going to be heading in towards this A site. One defender with a second rotating in. Kicker's gone within the first seconds. Fitch will at least be able to get one back, but there's nothing more he can do. Yuri's just on a tear. 22 kills to his name, and he's looking for more. Spots out Jane. The scout has done no damage so far and needs to definitely pick up a little bit more in this scenario.
Checking the elevator shaft as Bomb takes away Yuri with another one. Buster and Jamie remaining now with the world to find. Quesarado holding angles. Buster trying to get in there. Will not get it. It's going to be the Galil winning out.
Nice
but Jane onto Able J. I don't think it's going to be enough.
No.
I think the round is done. It's going to be 15-2, Tom.
Yeah, this could be one of the most dominant maps, not only in the tournament, but in a grand final.
Yeah,
just,
in the DreamHack Open
general.
Grand Final. I think this is close to being one of the more dominant maps, if not the most dominant map. I don't remember seeing anything this one-sided, and he will be taken now. Salt in the wound.
And the Brazilians are loving it. Of course they are. Of course, just remember, Furia, they have not won a tournament. This would be a big, big deal for them. They've been on the rise for a long time. Currently 15-2 up on the first map. We sort of mentioned it already, though. It was very much possible that Avangar wouldn't be comfortable on this map. They definitely haven't looked this so far, and Furia have run riot while they've been here. They're straight onto the B side. These are sort of plays we didn't even really see from Avangar. Just straight up aggressive pushes, and now Art looking to spray through.
What?
No,
What?
you go for 9 kills! This is a final, Art. You don't go for 9 kills. And while he is going to be punished for it, Able J still there, though. The rest of the team on point as they look to shut this down. The 16-2 looking likely. Fitch will at least get one with a mag, a little bit of swag and money added to his name, but that money is going to be worthless if they can't take themselves this round. Still, though, they're starting to do a bit of damage. He's given Kicker a chance, but it's not happening. Yuri will continue as he means to go on, and that is going to be the close. A 16-2 first map victory coming out from the guys at Furia. But they're keeping a level head at the moment. The smiles may be on their faces. They've still got a lot of work to do.
Yeah, this is not over yet. It's still Inferno and then potentially Train to go, and that's a one mistake that Furia cannot make at this point, to think that it's over. But I'm pretty sure with the coach behind him and a very determined team, that's not going to be the case. They're going to go back out, take a breather, drop straight back in for Inferno, and then yeah, just keep it going again.
Yeah, well, this is where Avangar really do. This is where they have to turn everything around. Either way, I believe we're going to be handing it over the desk, who are going to be the ones breaking down this map. And boy, what are you going to be saying about Avangar?
You know, I think I can sum up the crowd's feelings in 3 words. K-Ota Avangar. What a game from Furia. My God, they absolutely decimated the competition. Avangar honestly just looked lost.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of what we expected, right? I mean, Furia did show us a lot in that other game they played on Vertigo earlier today. Really good with their utility on CT side, blocking off access to the sites. Really good retakes, really good opping from Art, even on a map where it's very difficult to use AWP. Saw James with a couple of moments as well. Vinny cleaning up. Quesarado had a really big play. Like, everyone really stepped up to the plate and had a really big game. And you could just tell from watching Avangar that they must not have much time on that map. They didn't really seem to know any utility. They seemed to just play like really slow, but without purpose. So it was a pretty easy win there for Furia.
It definitely was an easy win, but I mean, I have to point out how impressive it is how Furia came into this tournament fully prepared. We talk about preparation a lot for a lot of these teams coming into these tournaments, and you can absolutely see that this was a game plan that Furia had in their back pocket, and this is the time that they knew they had to use it, and they used it, and man, did it pay off.
There's something to be said about the fact now that this opens up Furia's map pool so much, because now it forces teams to be defensive with the first ban and say, like, we can't let them play Vertigo.
Absolutely.
Which means now they get to play one of their even more comfortable maps that they've had more time to practice.
And not only that, this is the beginning of something really special, Bach. I mean, back in the days when we're thinking about MIBR and LG, those days, the Brazilians were very innovative. They came out swinging on Mirage, showing us strategies that we've never even seen before. And this is something that I think could be something special coming up.
So now that we've gotten past the first map, the first hurdle here for Furia, we jump into a map that we just watched Avangar struggle on in Inferno. Dust, what should we expect?
Yeah, I mean, I think with Avangar, you got to kind of put that loss out your head. I think normally they are quite a good Inferno team, so despite the fact they had a lot of struggles against Valence on their T side, they just need to open up a bit more and don't be as timid. Like, get, you know, Jane more aggressive, even if it is just with an AK. You know, just try to play your game a little bit better, a little bit more confidently. But here's the thing, Furia is also really good on Inferno. They've beaten some of the pro teams, you know, online in North America, like a Ghost. They've even beaten Heroic in an online tournament when they're in Europe boot camping. And we've seen them play it successfully at this event as well. Art is just so wild on this map. He's all over the place on both sides. And Quesarado, who's kind of a leading MVP candidate over on the side of Furia, really good at managing Banana on both sides of the map. And they move with purpose. Like, they aren't timid. Like, they're the ones who will swarm and trade. We saw that a lot today, actually. They kind of changed up their style a bit. We're just kind of gathering up with their spacing and just really trading efficiently. They lead in that category in this tournament, percent of deaths traded. So they could very easily 2-0 this series.
For sure, but on Avangar's side of things, I'm sure that they took this loss with a grain of salt. I mean, they knew, and we knew, that they weren't very prepared for Vertigo. And even their Inferno loss that they had earlier today, it was a blowout, 14-1 first half, and I'm sure that they're able to take that also with a grain of salt. I mean, 14-1 is a blowout. They never really got into the game, so I think they're going to come in here fresh. Inferno should be a lot more competitive, and it should be a lot closer.
So I have one question before we throw things back to a break. Your shirt has a hashtag on it. It says Dia de Furia. Is it the day of Furia? Is it their day?
The day of Fury. Day of Fury. I'm a full-on Furia fan now. I put the shirt on. I'm rooting for them. No shame.
All right, well, we are going to throw things to a break. We'll be back in just a bit with Map 2 to see if Fury is going to be walking home with that trophy in a 2-0 fashion. Stay tuned.